All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Over to Frank Warren, people. Over to Frank Warren.
What really, besides monetary distribution, is stopping this fight from happening?
Getting the final agreement between all the parties. At the end of the day, I can't force Usyk to fight. I can't force Tyson to fight. That's their choice. They're the guys getting in the ring, and at the end of the day, we're either going to make this happen or not.
Either Tyson Fury wants to unify this division, or he doesn't, or it's just simply all about money. It's not about the credibility of what he's actually going to do, and we're not going to see undisputed.
I would say, I keep saying we're in a couple of days we'll have an answer. It's not going to go past the end of this week, that's for sure, because we're the proposed date is the 29th of April, and we have to we have to contract with the venue and so forth to make it happen. So
the bottom line is it's about money. You know that the Wembley fight is worth 60, 70 million quid. There's a distribution issue. If this is a genuine fight and people want to have it, it tells me they don't want to have this fight. It tells me that you might as well scrap it and move on with getting an interim fight and maybe come back round to the Middle East. If they're both lucky enough to have their belts in 6 months' time and neither one of them gets knocked out by someone else, you reconvene at the end of the year when the Middle Eastern guys are back on the table. Why don't we PL get off the pot?
Why don't you just have an arm wrestling contest with Aegis Klimas of their camp, and we'll see who comes out on top of that.
So I'll win. So I'll do that. I'll beat him in the arm wrestling, and then we'll have to argue about something else.
Well, I kind of expected that this week is the critical week to get something tangible signed up so they can get a contract for the stadium on April the 29th. That hasn't been achieved. I think they're likely to announce Fury versus Joyce in a couple of weeks, and that's the likely route they're going to go. I think at this point here, Warren and Aaron, and I'm saying Warren and Aaron because I'm looking at them as the culpable party, the disagreeable party who are not really trying to make this fight. They're looking for a way right now that they can spin it that Tyson Fury or they didn't duck the fight. They're trying to get their alibi right. To me, the killer blow that's going to end negotiations for at least now was this tweet here from Michael Benson. Olexandr Usyk's promoter, Alex Krusyak, has now declared that they've offered Tyson Fury a 60-40 to the winner deal, but Fury turned it down. Negotiations are ongoing, and Krusyak said, "We want to make it happen, but if he doesn't want it, we can't make him want it." And that's what Frank Warren said as well. We can't force the two guys into the ring.
At the end of the day, I can't force Usyk to fight. I can't force Tyson to fight. That's their choice.
Now, he said, I can't make the two guys fight in the ring. So it's not like he's saying Usyk is the disagreeable equation in the conundrum. He's saying, I can't make the two guys. That includes Tyson Fury. He can't make Tyson Fury accept 50-50. Is that what Frank is saying? Is Frank saying he would accept it, but he can't make Tyson Fury accept it? Was Frank willing to accept the Saudi deal, 50-50? But Tyson wasn't? Warren's not going to hang Tyson out to dry. That's the only bankable fighter he has, apart from Tommy Fury. And Anthony Yarden may be transitioning into a more bankable commodity. But they're on the periphery, on the borderline. Fury is his only real bankable commodity. So, what negotiations? You know, the 60-40 to the winner deal is the last throw of the dice, literally. What more can be done? Unless Usyk bows and Krusyak bows, and they don't look like guys who bow to me. If they say something, they're going to stick to it. Carl Frampton said 60-40 to the winner doesn't work. What happens if there's a clear winner and the other guy gets it? Fury's the A side. Give him 60-40 with the same split going to the winner in a rematch. Now, I don't know if John Fury's got to him, because remember when he said Jake Paul would beat Tommy and John went at him and he was shook. Fair enough, he's only a featherweight. John's a heavyweight. He was shook. It looks like John's got to him and he's just talking utter bollocks. What if there's a clear winner and the other guy gets it? Well, what's the likelihood of that happening at Wembley? That argument is not in Usyk's favour at Wembley. Stupid argument. It should be Usyk worried if it goes to a decision at Wembley. Gareth Davis, he himself said it's on Fury to get it signed. Just take 50-50 and make the fight, and he's his biggest flag waver. Adam Cattrall said 50-50 is fair. A lot of people across the spectrum of quote-unquote mainstream media covering boxing think 50-50 is fair. Although Gareth Davis said 50-50 is fair, only after Adam Cattrall said, yeah, that's about fair. And then Gareth Davis said, I don't agree with Usyk insisting that it's 50-50 either. So what side of the fence are you on? More often than not, Frank Warren and Bob Arum will do some fuck shit and they get off the hook because of people like this. And this is one of the biggest outlets that cover boxing. Usyk is free scraps, former Olympic gold medalist, former undisputed cruiserweight champion, still undefeated. Has beat AJ twice on the bounce. A 50-50 split is more than fair for this fight here. You know, if he's doing 50-50 splits with Deontay Wilder, who hasn't achieved a fraction of what Olexandr Usyk has achieved, doesn't make sense to me. You know, he was going to do 50-50 with AJ in 2021, but he knew what AJ brought to the table in terms of being a draw. Usyk, as well, like, he couldn't wait to get away from Eddie Hearn, him and Khrushchev. And let's remember, when he fought Bellew, at that time, that was his biggest payday, that pay-per-view fight there. The Derek Chisora fight, he done well with Eddie. Then he just got him out the mix. Oh, I'm just going to go straight to Bob Arum and this is going to be it. Really? But you couldn't do nothing with the Saudis. Maybe if you had Eddie pushing with the first negotiation with the Saudis, this fight could have been done and dusted. Maybe so. But you took him out of the loop. Say what you want. Eddie's good at what he does. He's a good negotiator. He's good at what he does. And if the Tyson Fury fight doesn't happen, old Alexander Usyk is more than likely going to have to run back with his tail between his legs to Eddie. Yeah? And then you got Bob Arum. Remember he was saying he'd rather Usyk beat Joshua than Joshua win. Remember when he said that? And now you can't make the fight because according to Team Fury, which Bob Arum is, Usyk doesn't deserve 50-50. But you wanted Usyk to win instead of AJ. They've literally got a few hours to get this together and get this fight on, or Warren and Arum are just liabilities in boxing. Look, I just dug up for the receipt and look what he's saying. It's against my economic interest, but I'd prefer Usyk to win. He said because Usyk's his friend. No, because you hate Eddie Hearn. That bad. You was willing to sabotage an undisputed fight for the fans because of Eddie Hearn. Let's keep it a buck. We're talking about a fight that was likely to be the largest grossing fight in the history of boxing. Maybe surpassing Floyd versus McGregor, Floyd Pacquiao, etc. But his hatred for Eddie ran that deep. He was willing to see Usyk win. Now, it's got nothing to do with him. He's not in the ring, and it's down to Joshua. He lost to Usyk. We know that. But the fact you'd come out and say that shit, you're a sick individual. And now you've got Usyk right in front of you, willing to split the fight 50-50, and you can't make the fucking fight. Get the fuck out of here, Bob, man. Put this old boy to the side, man. Seriously. And if you've noticed, Bob Arum is extremely quiet. He's extremely quiet. And Frank is taking all the heat, mostly in the UK. And the other possibility is they don't really want the fight because it's risky. They lose their cash cow if it goes pear-shaped. If belly goes belly up.
Belly. Look what I'm eating. Nyam, nyam, nyam. You're next.
Right, he's crazy. They could have a big fight with Joyce, which, from the aspects of technical skill, is an easier fight. At least in theory it is. You know, they can A-side Joyce, give him 30%, 35 or whatever, 25%. They can do all that there. They can get rematch clauses. They can control the situation because Joyce is a Queensberry fighter. That's the preferred fight. And they can still make money and keep the game going, providing Fury wins. And even if Joyce wins, they're still quids in. There will be a backlash. They won't be doing no 90,000 at Wembley for that fight. There will be a backlash if they don't make the Usyk fight for undisputed. But who cares? If they can get 50,000 into a stadium, 60,000, they make money. 500,000, 600 pay-per-views or whatever, they make money. And it would be favourable to Bob and Frank to keep it in-house. Joyce has got a long-term contract with Warren, and Warren is in with Bob. So that'd be a favourable situation to them. Usyk is a free agent, and we know it's a difficult fight, despite Fury saying it's a middleweight. If he's a middleweight, go knock him out. 60-40 should be great for you. Winner takes 60-40. If he's so sure he's going to win, take the 60-40. And if that's how it goes, the only thing that I can salvage out of it is I'm glad that Joyce will be getting a title shot. I wonder who Usyk's going to fight, or if he's going to continue fighting if he doesn't get this fight. You know, mentally, there's something about the mental aspect, I believe, that Tyson Fury can't get around. With Bob Arum and Frank, they're just saying, well, boy, it's just too risky. Just too risky. I mean, people keep saying, if Joshua is finished, Eddie's finished. No, Frank is finished and Fury is finished. You know, Usyk says stuff like, I'm not afraid of Tyson Fury, it's just another fight. Usyk has immense self-belief, and they can see this. They can see it. And obviously he has ability as well. They don't know if they've seen the best of Usyk against AJ, or if he's got another gear. He has that aura of mystery around himself as a boxer. And Tyson Fury is not unbeatable. He's not unbeatable. They don't like this fight. They know what professionalism Usyk brings to the ring. Application, dedication, and mental strength. They don't like it. Despite Tyson saying he's just a middleweight and can't take the punishment. Well, you're not willing to prove it, so talk is cheap. I'd say the most skilled opponent that Tyson Fury would have faced. Definitely the most skilled AJ faced. And we saw what happened to AJ. He lost his belts. 2 fights on the bounce. Southpaw, twice as good as Otto Wallin, and will do twice as better more than likely. While Fury still has his O intact, he's going to keep going to them Wilder fights to say, I beat him twice. And that's going to be his get out clause in taking difficult fights like this. Trust me. No man has ever moved like Fury, who's been Fury's size in the boxing ring. I'll give him that. 85-inch reach. And he's put in some great performances. But he's a very insecure fighter. It looks like Usyk is resigning himself, well, at least Krashuk is resigning himself to the fights not happening because Bob Arum told him not to negotiate in public. For what good that did. Don't negotiate in public and we'll get the fight done. Well, what was Bob saying? I'm not going to talk about percentages of statements because once you start negotiating in the press, it all falls apart because then the ego of people comes to the fore and that trumps common sense. I'm sure we'll put it together and hopefully have an announcement shortly. Well, that was midway through February. And they were deep into negotiation then. And as you can see, Krashuk kept his mouth shut for the last few weeks at least. Hasn't said anything and nothing's materialized. So now he's talking. Why is he talking? Because he doesn't see anything changing. And look, let's be optimistic. Maybe something can change. We've got till at least Friday. At least Friday. So they've already revealed they offered a 60-40 to the winner split, declined by Tyson Fury. Krashuk said they were more interested in a fair split rather than a guaranteed figure. Frank Warren said he's got a pot and he needs to get the agreement of both parties to participate. And if the money in the pot is not enough, it won't happen. Krashuk said, I completely agree with it. On our side, we have nothing more to add. We are not asking for a figure. We are asking for a split. And probably the split doesn't work well if someone is asking for a figure. And I definitely say that it's not our party. If it generates a lot, then we are happy to share it. If it doesn't, it is what it is. But it's all about glory. It's all about legacy. It's all about the huge thing. The fight has never happened before, so we are really thirsty to make it happen. Krashuk then gave fans an insight into the figures, claiming a half-and-half agreement was later rescinded by Fury. There has been plenty of talk of the split and what each man feels he deserves, especially if the fight lands in Fury's home country at Wembley Stadium. We initially agreed for 50-50, but then Tyson was asking for bigger money. So we made it clear that we are ready to go to 60-40, but the winner takes 60. That was our latest offer. And obviously Fury turned that down. And Krashuk is saying normally when a fighter does not want to take a fight, he asks for something impossible so it doesn't take place. I have to interject at that point. This is 3 months negotiation. And to all the people who said AJ needs to sign the contract, all the way through, with no exception, I said Fury is not going to get a fight done with Usyk by March or February. And now, the April the 29th date, even that's in doubt now. Here's what one frustrated boxing fan had to say about Tyson Fury.
I don't feel like the fight's going to happen. You've just heard it from Usyk's promoter there himself, saying that 60-40 to the winner. How much more fairer can you get? Tyson's completely priced himself out with the Saudis, so he's now shot himself in the foot, and he's doing anything he can, in my eyes, to avoid this fight. It's funny how he gives Anthony Joshua 24-hour deadlines, and he's quick enough to have back and forth with Manuel Char on the internet, but yet he's gone complete radio silence with Usyk. But
yeah,
this is only a pumped up middleweight, apparently, who's got no power and who's standing on his head. So
Well, I don't think
What's
Tyson's
the
scared
hold
of
up?
anyone. I don't think Tyson's scared of fighting anyone. That's not the issue here. It's a principal issue on business and finance.
If that's not the issue, then what's the hold up? He's completely pricing himself out. He's never going to come out and openly say, oh yeah, I'm scared of him. Because he's been running his mouth for the past 8 months saying that he'll fight for free. If you remember correctly, the Derek Chisora fight was a warm-up for Usyk. He called him in the ring along with Joe Joyce.
Do you not think it's more about principle of I'm the main man and I'm getting 60% and you're getting 40, like it or lump it, rather than I'm scared of fighting you?
Well, that's the whole reason why he priced himself out of the Saudi deal, because he wanted double than what AJ got. You know what I mean? And they laughed at him because they see it as he's not a big commercial draw, as he likes to think. Adam Catchman said it well this morning. Tyson Fury is not a superstar that his inflated ego likes to think he is.
Well, that may be true, but he certainly knows he's not scared of anyone.
Do you think this fight will happen at all, David?
Never.
You know, words like scared, there's grey areas often when you're discussing these situations with boxers. Like I said, it's insecurity. And there is a bit of fear mixed in there for all boxers. You know, Danny Murphy, a former footballer who played for Tottenham and did shit all when he was there, and he played for Liverpool and didn't do much there either. He was to say, Tyson's not scared of anybody, it's all about principles, that I'm the big draw and I should get more of the money. Well, that's your opinion. The guy on the phone is like us, who discuss on my channel or whatever channel you go to. He's like us. He had receipts. He went from the AJ deadline. Why was you rushing the AJ deadline? Then you're giving Manuel Char airtime about a fight. And let's go into the Manuel Char thing. You're going to fight Manuel Char when previously he was saying nobody wants to see me fight these Europeans. And he was talking about Usyk. They don't want to see me fight these Europeans who can't speak English. Well, I don't know if Manuel Char is fluent in English, but he's an obscure European fighter. He was entertaining that. And while his fan club were talking about him being lineal champion in 2019, he fought another 2 obscure Europeans. Schwartz, Otto Wallin, who hasn't done shit since that fight with Fury. Hasn't scored 1 knockout since then, or a knockdown. Then he brought up the radio silence. When's the last time Tyson Fury has mentioned Usyk? If you want 60-40 or 70-30, why don't you come on air or go on video and say that's the reason the fight's being held up? We haven't heard anything from him. He won't speak, won't mention Usyk's name. He's over there in Saudi Arabia watching Jake Paul and his brother fight while everybody's waiting for an announcement. Dave, who phoned in TalkSport, you've been the star of the afternoon. Your call has been doing the rounds on Twitter. It's been doing the rounds. And everybody's hailing you up. Me too. This was really needed because if you have so many receipts into what Tyson Fury has been doing in the past few years and been getting away with it, while the likes of TalkSport don't address none of the great points that they brought up. You never address none of it. How sustainable is it for Simon Jordan and Gareth A. Davis to get away with this bullcrap? Simon Jordan did address, does Fury want undisputed or not with Frank? He did. He did question Frank, is this all about money more than glory? But he has way more energy for Conor Benn and Eddie Hearn. Perhaps too much. And that's what we're judging you on now. You didn't have that energy for Frank. You skimmed over it, but you didn't really push Frank like Dave would have done, the real boxing fan.
You have been exposed.
Conor Benn, Eddie Hearn. Conor Benn, Eddie Hearn. Eddie's too much of a coward to explain the situation with Conor Benn. I wonder if he offered Frank Warren the opportunity to come and explain himself for Zalale Tete, when Zalale Tete nearly killed that guy in the ring for the Commonwealth title last year when he popped dirty. And Tete is a 2-weight world champion.